G'day viewers, on the last stream a few people asked me about the kind of things that YouTube shows me that helps me make more videos. So I'll just give you this really quick run through. I can't show you the overview or the revenue pages because it's against the terms of service. The channel makes a little bit of cash. It makes enough to pay for the internet. It doesn't make enough to pay for the equipment or my time. If this was a job, you'd quit. Anyway, that's it. So looking at the videos, we can see that I'm in the usual range for my videos, so about 38,061, so it's the top end of my usual range. I'm pretty happy, it's a good month. Impressions and click-throughs are what make the actual cash. So people who are watching things and then people who are clicking through on ads or whatever is what makes you the actual money. You can see I'm fairly steady in the way things are, and that's kind of how I play it, so I don't mind that at all. Individual videos, so if we look at one, this one was actually a fairly good one, so I created enough suspense in here in this very long video, because it's 45 minutes, that I actually kept most of the, well not a lot, but I kept 20% of the viewers all the way through to the end, which is pretty amazing for a train video. It's a lot of people, so that's quite cool. With a tutorial, they often pick up better, so once people get the idea of something, they'll drop off. So there we managed probably about 3 minutes for that video, and then people had enough of it and they went away. If I look at an actual train tutorial like the DBBR 111, I'm not meeting the needs after about 3 minutes of 50% of the people, and then it drops off to a fairly steady rate. By about this point, people think they know enough about the train and they'll go away and drive it for themselves. They might come back if they need more information. I try and cover everything in the first 8 to 10 minutes, but you can't do everything. And then people stay for a while and gradually dropping away towards the end there, which is not at all unusual. Now, how people find my videos, they come from various sources. So searching, browsing, external links. So that could be things like Steam. This could be Steam actually, because Steam brings them in anonymous. Top videos, the ones that have been doing good things that aren't shorts. And if we look at the external things and break those down, most of them are coming from Google search, no surprise there. Freshdesk and Dovetail Games, that's the support articles. So a little bit comes through from there. YouTube search, so you could act on this a little bit. So TD Transport Simulator Tram, that suggests a lot of people searching for it, but not really. It's only 1.3%. So you be careful acting on these numbers because you might end up with, strange things happening. Now let's look at the interesting stuff around audience, because this is where it actually gets quite interesting, and I think where most people are interested. So new viewers versus returning viewers. People get so hung up about this, and you really shouldn't, because if people want to subscribe to you, if you're meeting their needs, if you're meeting their interests, they will. And if you're not, they won't. And some people just never do. Some people just search for stuff. They don't subscribe, so don't get hung up on it. Try and get rid of that, actually. There we go, because I don't want it hanging around there. So videos growing your audience, where new viewers who came back. So there's a fair bit in the shorts. Roblox is an interesting one, and some of the TSW stuff. So no great surprise, that's most of my channel. The like channels that your audience watches, they can be handy to get inspiration. I don't mean go there and copy their videos. I mean make inspiration. Go off and see CGD Games, for example. See what kind of content they make. If it's interesting, then take some inspiration and make something of your own. Other things your audience watch, for me, that's no great surprise. It's nearly all TSW. No great surprise there at all. In fact, it is all TSW this time around. When my viewers are on, this doesn't matter much anymore because a lot of people watch stuff when they feel like watching it. They don't watch it when it comes out, really. So most of my viewers are on when I'm asleep. That's okay. That's cool. Now, this stuff's interesting because my audience is fairly consistent. They're watching everything, videos, shorts, and live, so that's cool. A lot of people have their notifications turned on. Device types is interesting. So overall, mobile phone's the winner. For videos, mobile phone, then computer, then TV, so it's about thirds, roughly, near enough, if you combine TV and tablet as 1080p devices. Shorts, no great surprise, that's nearly all phones. And lives, it really is thirds, so computer, TV, and phone, with a bit more on tablet. So the formats I'm pushing out, which is 2K, is aimed mostly at the computer and the TV people, whereas a lower format that YouTube will transcode in the background will go out to the mobile phones and the tablets. So that's pretty cool. Looking at the number of people on TVs, I wish they told you how many were 4K TVs. That would be interesting, but they don't yet, because that will tell me when it's time to start pushing out 4K. Audience-wise, I've got a pretty strong female audience, so I do have a gender-safe space in my streams and the like, where I discourage anybody who gets in any way towards unaccepting. I don't mean you have to be 100% PC. I'm not either. I'm a bit of a wanker sometimes. But I do try and make sure that everybody feels safe in my audience. And I think that shows, because I've got a good, strong female population. Given I'm a train nerd, I mean, that's pretty high. That's pretty good. My audience is interesting. They're all younger than me, nearly all of them. So it's quite a well-rounded audience. And I don't target under 18s very much. I don't dissuade them in any way, but I don't target them. And then the middle audience is probably what I am targeting, so that's good that I am picking those up. Now, if we whip over and have a look at a little bit more of the audience details, this is where this gets a bit interesting. Age groups doesn't change that much, audience by age and gender, but you can see the breakdown of males and females and others. And it doesn't show up much in the numbers, but there are some others in there. They show up in the filters sometimes. Excuse me, coughing. I'm actually homesick at the moment doing this because, you know, I can. Now, geographies is interesting. This is a cool one. Let's have a look at this. So, United Kingdom, United States, Australia, India, Indonesia, starting to taper off from there. The cities is interesting. If I can click on it. Yeah, go away. Right. So cities is quite interesting. Melbourne, Bangkok, Jakarta, London. So YouTube knows where you are. But it doesn't know where everyone is. We notice that? So the numbers are quite little compared to geography numbers. So YouTube knows what country you're in quite reliably, but doesn't know what city you're in very reliably. Viewer age, same sort of story as we had before. A little bit more detail though. Viewer gender, again a little bit more detail, but you can see that the others are starting to crop up here. And do I target getting people who aren't male or female? No, but do I insist on them being safe when I'm live? Yes. These three will end up showing you some money numbers, so we won't go there because I'm not allowed to. So let's just click back through these. Is there a good way to get back to these pages? No, there's not. But let's have a look at trends, because trends is a bit of an interesting one. So trends tells you what YouTube thinks might be useful things for you to do as inspiration. So that's picked a few other videos. It's picking a few things that your audience seem to be looking for in their searches. So train life, I'm surprised that's coming up because it's a bit of a dead game. But you know, there's a bit of an audience I'm not targeting. So maybe. I do have the game. Train Simulator games for PC, pretty sure I target that one quite well. Train and Rail Yard Simulator. Well, I've never actually heard of that. So I might go and search for Train and Rail Yard Simulator because, you know, it's a simulator I'm not playing. Now, this is an interesting one. So if I put in, let's go really typical, Train Sim World, and then it shows me some typical videos from other people. They're remarkably like mine, and then you can go brainstorm ideas. Now this does get a little bit interesting. This is Google Gemini doing this. Its thumbnails, they're crap. When they come up, you'll see them. It's still having a bit of a chew on this at the moment. So best route for beginners with a high interest. So that would actually be a good one to do because, you know, I would have some pretty good ideas there. Electric commuter is the way to go. Ultimate free roam route ranking. That's kind of the thing I do. So could do something like that. Route creation tool wish list. So this is mostly around people who do the editor and things, which is not really what I target. Most realistic route. That would be another one. So could do things like that because I have visited some of these. So I can give you an idea whether they are or not. And I could use Google Earth to do comparisons of areas and things. So that would be quite cool. But let's say we went to this best route for beginners one. It'll actually give me, and this is interesting, it'll actually give me an outline of what you can actually do for your video, and some suggested titles and things like that that people would be searching for. And yeah. So I do use this a little bit. I don't let it rule my life. Most of the ideas I have are my own. But yeah, this could actually be an interesting one. I hadn't really thought about the best train sim world route for beginners. So it could actually be an interesting idea. Maybe you'll see it in a future video. But anyway, that's about it. So I think we've covered everything. I'm sorry I can't show you the money because it's a terms of service violation if I do. Just, it's not much. It gives me a little bit of income that I can afford to support a local artist. Just a little bit, like maybe buy her a meal. And it does pay for some of the giveaways for things that I give away on the channel. And it bought me a shirt. Yeah, cool. And yeah, that's about it. But anyway, if you've got any questions, chuck them down below. See what we can do to help you out. Happy to chat. Alrighty, bye now.
We played a game.